Macaques are quite cruel animals, but this kitten was lucky that his mother saved him from being kidnapped. The monkey tried to take the baby away, but the cat rebuffed her, piled on, and protected the kitten. Pay attention to exactly how this fight is going. Although the macaque cannot move on two hind legs, it is able to sit steadily and for almost any length of time relatively straight with its front paws free. This allows her to fight them effectively. It is difficult for a cat to keep its balance even while sitting, but the advantage of dexterity, flexibility, and of course excellent motivation adds strength to the female. She dominates the macaque and overwhelms it with a stunning attack. This fight might seem funny to us, but in fact it is a fight for the survival of a little cute kitten. And we can only be glad that the cruel primate never got to him. Elephant seals are one of the largest pinnipeds in the world. And an aggressive male can simply crush a baby. At the same time, he acts very brutally. To prevent the cub from escaping, the huge male can use his jaws to grab the baby, pull it towards him, and cause additional pain with a bite. This way, the frightened pinniped cub will resist less. Then one powerful blow from top to bottom, and the male will simply break the cub's spine. Fortunately, the mother is on her guard. She saves the cub from the aggressor, although she is twice as big as him. The male's plan crumbled when the female rebuffed him with a more active and furious counterattack. It is difficult to say why the male attacked the family. Perhaps the reason is jealousy or competition for food. It is easier to cope with a baby now than in the future when he grows up. In any case, it failed. The mother was on guard. Interestingly enough, females and males too of many pinniped species react quite violently and aggressively to humans. The reason is simple: hunters. That's just one secret that wildlife researchers, photographers, and zoologists use. The fact is that pinnipeds evaluate what kind of creature is in front of them, not by smell or even details of appearance, but by silhouette. Are you standing on two hind legs? Then you are the enemy, and you will not be allowed anywhere near the beach occupied by these animals. If you were lying on your stomach, then you are also a pinniped animal. At the same time, some seals and sea lions react to a change in the position of the human body right in front of them as a real transformation. That as a wildlife researcher approaches seals, which react to him as an enemy, they do not attack, but they also do not let him get close to them. Then, right in front of the animals, the person just lies down on the rocks. And that's it. They're ready to take him for their own. Moreover, the females even let their babies get acquainted with such exotic seals. Yes, pinnipeds often mistake lying people for relatives. And the strange appearance, smell, and even the presence of equipment does not bother the pinnipeds at all. Maybe it's such an exotic seal from distant lands that sailed to them. We need to get to know each other and be hospitable. They're not racist. Surprisingly, while the researcher is lying down, a fierce and aggressive female can even let a man near her cub. It's hard to expect such a reception from these sort of wild animals, isn't it? But we must admit that these creatures are quite charming. Would you like to get to know the baby seal so closely? Let us know in the comments. Lions are constantly fighting with competitors and exterminating other predators on their territory, including cheetahs. Finding a den of spotted cats with kittens for lionesses means winning the jackpot. The female cheetah knows how such an acquaintance will end. Therefore, she gives herself away and goes out to the lionesses first. Provoked by such arrogance, predatory cats immediately break off in pursuit. They want to catch the cheetah, fall on it, break its neck. They are driven by excitement, but the lionesses do not know that the spotted cat uses itself as bait. The female cheetah takes the lionesses as far away from the kittens as possible. She's taking a risk. You shouldn't underestimate the agility of lionesses. Yes, she's super fast, but she can't keep up the pace for long. If she breaks into a run at the wrong time, she will get tired, and experienced lionesses will be able to trap her. Therefore, the female cheetah most of the time has to retreat from the lionesses with a step or a slow run. Lionesses work together and can effectively drive the victim, but the female cheetah turns out to be not only fast, but also cunning. She did not allow herself to be surrounded, broke out of the ring, and broke away from the chase. The female spent a lot of effort, because it is not easy for her to maintain such a pace. The problem is that distracting the lionesses from their lair, the mother had to move quite far away. Now she has to sneak home unnoticed and find the kittens before they run away in search of their mother and get hurt. The situation is tense, but the female cheetah demonstrates both restraint and discretion. As a result, she finds the kittens and is happily reunited with them. The kids are saved. A huge python smelled the lair of a wild cat and went in there to investigate. The predatory reptile was lucky. There was not only an adult agile individual who can escape, but also several kittens. The burrow has only one entrance, and the snake blocks it, so the kids can't get out. If the mother tries to move the kittens, then while she is busy with one of them, the python will attack the others. The cat has 3 options. The first is to abandon offspring in the face of the threat of a cold-blooded monster that is more than 7 times larger. The second is to transfer as many kittens as possible because it is unlikely to do so without losses. The third is to stay and get in the way of the monster to try to save everyone. The most reasonable option is the second, but is maternal love really guided by reason? Of course, the cat chose the third option and gave the python an impressive rebuff. And this is not the only such case that caught the camera lens. There was already a domestic, but a stray cat is forced to protect such a den from a python. As you can see, females always choose to protect all offspring. They can't leave any of their babies. Pretty admirable, isn't it? Although the python's head alone weighs almost as much as the entire cat, a crushing blow from a clawed paw managed to show the snake just how unwelcome it was and throw it away. While the kids were helplessly clinging to their mother's back, the cat managed to literally throw the python out of the threshold of its lair. But the snake understands what's at stake here, so it picks it up again and again. Cats in all cases bravely hold the siege. The python attacks, and at the last moment the female in each case manages to dodge the terrible mouth of the enemy. However, she still came out of the lair after that. Did she really give up? Of course not. She counterattacked the snake from the other side. However, the python does not act thoughtlessly either. He tries to drag as much of his body into the lair as possible. The kittens are paralyzed by fear. Their mother rushes into a hopeless battle against an enemy several times stronger. Having received many quick blows, the python is injured, but he did not receive any serious damage, because if the cat had grappled with him seriously, the snake would have simply strangled her in a few seconds. Therefore, the female had to keep her distance. She couldn't win. Fortunately, the story of the wildcat has a pretty good ending, which was left behind the scenes. People could not stay away from this dramatic situation and simply grabbed the python by the tail, after which the snake, stunned by such arrogance, was taken out of the den of the cats. Not a single kitten was injured. The python too, it was just carried away. Do you think the people did here the right thing? What would you do in their place? When the crocodile bit the elephant's trunk, he clearly did not realize that he was making the biggest mistake of his life. The enraged giant picked up the reptile and hit it on the surface of the water, and then he started trampling. One of the most epic battles involving rhinos that caught the camera lens ever. These lions decided to attack a heavyweight that could reach a weight of about 3 tons. And it must be admitted that the predators took the matter seriously. They assembled a combat group of experienced and seasoned hunters. Such numerical superiority could help the lionesses deal with another rhinoceros, but not with this particular individual, which turned out to be much more daring than the predators thought. The lionesses circled next to the rhinoceros and deliberately exhausted it. They squeezed the ring, swooped in on the enemy, attacked him again and again, but at the same time carefully immediately retreating when the enraged beast began to fight back. Experienced hunters wanted to make a massive enemy chase them. Then the rhinoceros would get tired, run out of strength, and go on the defensive. That would be the end of the battle. No matter how powerful the armor is, if you do not attack the enemy in response, sooner or later he will achieve his goal. Apparently, the rhinoceros understood this. Pay attention to his endurance. He furiously attacks the lionesses, but does not allow himself to be carried away. Stop as soon as he realizes that he will not reach his enemies at all. He doesn't panic. He doesn't fuss. Every punch and throw is verified. The rhinoceros pays attention only to those lionesses who come close enough to attack, and does not pay attention to the environment at all. No fuss. This is what saves the giant. Although he does not have a sharp horn, his ramming blow can break all the ribs of a lioness and crumple internal organs into a cake. When the hunter realizes that the rhinoceros is getting closer to them, and the hunter themselves begin to get tired, they have to retreat. The rhinoceros withstood the siege of an entire pride of lions, and he probably remembered these cats. Look at how another family of rhinos attacked a lion peacefully resting after lunch. Probably experienced herbivores know who they are dealing with and want to drive predators away. The lions needlessly angered such opponents. When this seagull managed to find a group of emperor penguin chicks that had strayed from adults, it was a real feast for the bird of prey. This chick is very, very large. Probably much larger than the predator itself, but it's very much practically helpless. They huddle together and try to cover each other up. But the heart of the seagull is as cold as the climate in Antarctica. A ruthless bird of prey attacks the chicks, swoops on them, and grabs one of them with a strong beak. The massive chick resists, but is unable to give a decent rebuff due to the difference in strength. And there are adult emperor penguins nearby. They are all in the sea, hunting fish. The chick has no chance. But not all heroes wear capes. The lone penguin was passing nearby. Just look, it's such a funny feathered little baby with an elongated beak and round eyes. Even an adult penguin is smaller than a baby emperor penguin. That's just a brave heart beating in the baby's body. And the Adelies hate the Pomeranians, so the penguin bravely rushes at the seagull and takes away its prey. The Pomeranian is shocked. Wolves are one of the most effective predators. Each animal alone has great strength and developed hunting skills, and teamwork increases the chances of catching prey even more. If 3 wolves can take down a huge deer or even an elk, then how can an ordinary otter give them at least some resistance? It turns out it can. The predators clearly underestimated this incredibly agile opponent. The otter was far from the water, not in a winning position at all. But she does not give up and desperately resists. Thanks to its amazing flexibility, every time the wolf tried to grab the otter, it twisted and clung with its small but sharp fangs to the enemy right in the sensitive nose. And it happened several times. As soon as the wolf attacked, the otter immediately launched a counterattack. The rest of the wolves tried to grab the victim from different sides, stretch it out, and literally tear it apart. But the otter turned out to be more agile and flexible than some kind of snake. She dodged every throw on the run, moved with lightning speed, and seemed to flow between the enemy's paws like a living liquid. A little more, and dexterous predators would have been able to catch the otter, but the intelligent animal knew where it was running away to. In a moment before the enemy's fangs closed in on its throat, the otter dived into a deep snow hole. The den turned out to be suitable for a small animal, but too narrow for wolves. And in South America, there are giant otters that are capable of even more impressive feats. For example, here the otters gave battle to the jaguar. But this is the largest predatory cat of the New World and the 3rd largest panther in the world. But the otters were acting too smoothly. Against one, the jaguar would have been easily emerged victorious. but the whole pack was able to show the spotted aggressor that they should not have to be messed with. A large otter the length of a lynx's body, armed with very sharp teeth and great speed, is able to pat its very beautiful hide. Jaguars understand this. He tries to intimidate the pack so that he can rush into the water and attack one of them, snatch it out, and take it to the land. But the otters are fighting back against the jaguar in real formation. He realizes that if he throws himself into the water, several otters will immediately attack him from all sides and drown him, and the jaguar retreats. And even one giant otter can overcome a small anaconda. Still, dexterity and resourcefulness play no less of a role for animals in combat than straightforward physical strength. These young cheetahs don't know who they're messing with just yet. Neither 2 of them, nor even 5 of them, would have defeated an adult rhinoceros, which can easily turn over a car with a couple of powerful blows of its horn. But the young predators do not understand which Terminator is in front of them. Well, okay, they'll understand now. The rhinoceros is even slightly surprised by the impudence of cats and will gladly teach them a lesson. Just now, he was a slow, almost motionless hulk that gave the impression of sleeping and too heavy monster. The cheetahs thought that they could sneak up and pounce and bite into his throat. It turned out that this small mountain not only has legs, but is also able to move them very well. The rhinoceros took such acceleration from the spot like a knight's horse, and went to a similar ram attack to sweep the predators out of the way. The rhino doesn't even seem to be trying to finish them off. If they get under their feet, he will break all of their bones, and if they manage to escape, it's also good. They'll remember who it's best not to mess with in savannah. The mountain lion is one of the most dangerous and toughest predators of the New World. Although it belongs to small cats because of the structure of the larynx, it surpasses even a leopard in size. When this guanaco noticed the leap of the mountain lion, it was already too late to dodge, and the predator managed to jump on the back of the ungulate. And the herbivore's problems did not end there. It turned out that this is a mature female who trains teenage kittens. They have little experience, but they already have the strength. The guanaco was surrounded by 4 predators. What should I do in such a situation? Well, for the inhabitants of the prairies, the answer is obvious: to arrange a rodeo. The guanaco only seems clumsy because of its long neck and slender legs combined with a barrel-shaped torso. In fact, this horse has incredible endurance and knows how to keep a furious pace. The cougar is in shock. She didn't know who she was messing with. Her kittens are trying to come to the rescue, but they only risk getting hooves on the head in vain. Just wait a minute. It seems that we don't know what kind of rhythm the guanaco has got. Yes, this is a real redneck dance. To such a groovy rhythm, the guanaco famously throws the cougar off its back and literally jumps out of the paws of 3 of its kittens. Just look at how well the predators work. The life of the guanaco hangs in the balance, but its speed and reaction save the ungulate, which managed to gain speed and break away from the mountain lions.